No sweep for us, baby. Yes, sir. Phillies win 7-6 against the Atlanta Braves. And yeah, today, this was an interesting game. And we'll get to the end, because that's probably what everybody wants to hear. But let's run through this. So Phillies lost 2 straight games. Bad defensive mistakes. Iffy pitching. Not great offense. Just not a good series against the Braves. But they had one more chance to take this game and make something happen with it. And at first, they did not run with it. Matt Moore got pounded again. He is not off to a good start this year. And if middle of May comes around and he's still struggling, you might have to consider a pitching change potentially, because it's a 1-year deal. You're not paying him much. And at some point, I think you need to get Spencer Howard and Adonis Medina into the lineup. And he's looking to be the weak link. But it didn't start out great. He gave up a home run to Albies. And then I think a single. It was either a single. Yeah, it was a single to Dansby Swanson that scored Travis d'Arnaud, and already out of the gate, it's 3-0. That's just great. But luckily, on the other end, the Braves pitching, it was not good either. Drew Smyly was horrible. Matt Moore wasn't good either. But because both pitching were so bad, they both kept, well, each other and the other team in the game. And it started off with a sac fly after JT Realmuto got a double and stole third, and Gene Segura gets a sac fly that scored Realmuto. They messed with the lineup a little bit. The big thing was Roman Quinn started over Hazley, and Gene Segura and Didi kind of swapped spots on the roster. But it was 3-1, and it was a close game. And Matt Moore dialed in for a little bit, pitched decently for I think 2 innings. And I was like, all right, he's dialed in if he can get through 5 innings. Hell, his pitch count's low, maybe 6. We can figure this out. Drew Smyly is not pitching good. He is just getting insanely lucky right now. So the 4th? No, I think it's the 5th inning rolls around. Top of the 5th. And the very first batter, Rhys Hoskins, he battles at a 9-pitch at bat. He is currently going through the longest streak active right now of not getting on base via a walk. I think it's like 58 plate appearances or something like that. But every time he's at the plate, he is constantly getting himself into 2-2, 3-2. Always a hard count for the pitcher, because they are constantly having to battle against this guy. It's just not translating into a walk. And at the 9th pitch, Rhys Hoskins hits it, and it's gone. It's now 3-2 Atlanta, but we are right there. I saw the home run, and I instantly had hope that we could make something happen here. Back-to-back outs by Harper and Realmuto, and now there's 2 outs, but then Alec Bohm gets a single, okay? And then Gene Segura rips a single right through the middle, or on the right side, right under Alec Bohm. And there's guys on first and second. And who's up next? Didi Gregorius. And I saw this stat while I was watching. I had to watch it on ESPN, which meant I had to listen to A-Rod's voice, which I'd rather just pour this all over my head. I'd rather drown my ears out with water than listen to A-Rod commentate, because it's the most obnoxious thing ever. Anybody who's not, actually, anybody who's not an A-Rod fan, which is probably not a ton to begin with, does not like this guy. So it was irritating having to listen to him over the Phillies commentary, which it's just whatever. But the one thing ESPN did show was Didi has currently had 99 home runs in his career. All 98, his first 98 home runs were all pulled to right field. His one other home run was this year to center field. So what does Didi do? Gets it to an 0-2 count and rips a home run. Pulls it to right field again. I've never seen a guy who can pull this many home runs and make it look so easy. But that's what Didi does. And just like that, it is now 5-3 Phillies. And at this point, I'm like, we can do this. We have a chance. Okay, they got a sac fly. All right, it's 5-4. We still have a chance. Although you gave up a double to Christian freaking Pache, who's had like a 100 batting average through the first like 8 games. Come on now, Moore. He got slapped around. He went 5 innings, yes, but he gave up 9 hits, 5 runs. And I'll get to the 5th run just now. I'll get to it actually right now. Start of the 5th inning, boom, just creamed. Freddie Freeman just bombs it to center field, and it's 5-5. And It's one of these back and forth games because, like I said, starting pitching, Moore pitched horrible. Smiley pitched horrible. Now it's going to come down to whose bullpen's better. So, 6th inning comes in. Brogdon shuts down the Braves. And on the Braves end, Nate Jones comes in, who was the guy who gave up the game-winning single in the first game of the year. He comes in, and the first guy up, Bryce Harper. And you can hear everybody in the Braves Stadium screaming, "Overrated." And as soon as that happens, Bryce Harper smashes one to left field. And it is 6-5. And if there's one thing Bryce Harper knows how to do, it's shut up the haters. And he did it there. Overpaid or not, the guy is still one of the best players in baseball right now. Even as frustratingly inconsistent as he can be sometimes, he is still one of the greatest players in the league right now. Him and Trout are two of the best and brightest. But here we go. It's now a close game. It is 6-5, and in the 7th inning, after Brogdon pitches a solid 6th, Sam Coonrod comes in and gives up a home run to Acuna. That is so frustrating. It's because I feel like people are already going to start doubting the bullpen because a few runs have been given up. And that's the thing I don't get, why people are getting so frustrated. I think Kinsler's given up 1, maybe 2. I think he's only really given up 1 run. Alvarado's given up a run. Bradley's given up a run. I think he's given up 2 runs. Coonrod's given up a run. It happens. And the thing about it is people just aren't seeming to realize is that the bullpen's getting gassed right now. Especially because Nola didn't go 5 innings. Wheeler didn't go 5 innings. Eflin went 6 at least. And Moore only went 5 innings. So, and Chase Anderson only went 5 innings. So for almost 5 straight games, the bullpen's been asked to close out 4 innings or more 4 of the 5 games. That's rough. Actually, 5 of the 6 because Moore had a horrible first start. I think he only went 3 1/3. So for 5 of the last 6 games they played this year, they have needed the bullpen to go through 4 or more innings every single time. That's killing them right now, and it's giving up some runs. Because when you watch that first set, when Nola went 6 2/3, Wheeler went 7, and Eflin went 7, and I know you can't expect them to go 7 or 8 innings every time. When Eflin went 6, it kept the Phillies in the game. Nola went 6 2/3, he kept the Phillies in the game. When Wheeler went 7, he easily kept the Phillies in the game. The starting pitching needs to be better. It needs to be better. But Acuna hits a home run, unfortunately, and it's now tied up 6-6. And hopefully they figure out a way to deal with these 3 because you're going to face them a lot. And Freeman hit a home run in all 3 games. Acuna hit a home run in 2 games. Albies hit 1. Those 3 creamed the Phillies lineup, pitching staff up and down all series long. But they're all-star players, so I guess I kind of should be expecting that. I just wish the pain would go away. Just please get the pain out of my head. But enough about that. Coonrod goes through, and he's so talented. He gets through, and honestly, that run, it's frustrating, but it's going to happen every now and then, especially because he's such a hard thrower. Because for a guy who's projected to throw 98, he had a pitch that went to 101 that night. He had a pitch that hit 101 against the Braves. And it was nasty to watch. The kid got so much promise. And he's honestly looking to be a revelation right now. He looks so dialed in at the plate. Even when the home run he gave up, it was just a misplay. It was just a bad pitch. For the most part, every other pitch after that one was pretty damn nice to watch. And then 8th inning to trade, Minter just shuts down the Phillies. And then Jose Alvarado, this guy is going to be so painful to watch because it's like playing Russian roulette with this guy. You never know what you're going to get with him. Some nights he'll just absolutely dominate, just throw 101 in the corners. He can throw 101 low. That's insane. And he just makes it look so easy some nights. And then other nights, the dude looks like he can barely find the strike zone, and it's terrifying to watch, which is the price you pay with getting harder throwing pitchers. But returns are honestly looking pretty solid for the bullpen. When you take out David Hale and you take out Vince Velasquez, the other 6 relievers, Hector Neris, Archie Bradley, Sam Coonrod, Brandon Kinsler, Connor Brogdon, and Jose Alvarado have been stellar. Numbers don't prove it, honestly. They're pitching harder. The pitches look a lot better than when I watched players like Jojo Romero, who actually just called up because Bradley's going to be on the IL for 2 weeks or something like that with an oblique issue. Hopefully he gets back quickly. But Jojo Romero should be a fine enough replacement for the short time being. But when you watch players like Jojo Romero, Austin Davis, Raymond Russo, Reggie McClain, those are your relievers you have to rely on. And the acquisitions you picked up in like David Phelps, David Hale himself, who looks shit this year. And he doesn't look much better last year. He didn't look much better last year either. So Brandon Workman, Heath Hembry, they all failed in Philly. This bullpen looks infinitely better. Is it perfect? No. There's an issue with potential accuracy. But they are all very talented. Something I could not say at all last year. So yeah, going back and forth between analysis and the game, we get to the 9th inning, and this is where things get hairy. So it starts off with an Alec Bohm double. Gene Segura grounds out to second, but it's enough to get Alec Bohm to third. And at this point, I'm pretty certain Girardi told the third base coach, this is not how he would say it probably. This is what I would have said. I said, listen, Roman Quinn sucks. He's not getting you on base. If Didi hits that to the outfield, no matter the circumstance, you're running. You're running, Bohm. Even if it's Acuna, I do not care. You're running. So that's the only way I could probably rationalize this, because if he had hit the Pache, he would have scored. If he had hit to Acuna, he definitely would have. He most likely would have gotten thrown out. But then he hits it to Ozuna. And the thing about it is Ozuna's a Gold Glover. He's also getting up there in age and not becoming a great defensive player anymore. The flyout from Didi was pretty damn close to the infield. So for Bohm to go, I was surprised. But I was like, you got to at least try. I'd have more faith in him trying to get home than Quinn getting on base. So Bohm runs, is throwing to the plate. It's a bouncer. It's not the best throw, and safe. Really? This is one of those things where a lot of people who aren't Phillies fans are going to disagree with me, obviously. If you're a Philly fan, you're always going to say, oh, he's safe, easily safe. When you're a Braves fan, you are heated. That was a chance to sweep, and you definitely feel like you got screwed over. I wanted to give a quick analysis from this, because this was something that I had issue with. And me and my dad got into a huge debate about this last night when I was watching this. And I will shift it a little bit. I said he was safe. I watched back, and I lean a bit towards him being out. You never really found a true angle of him touching the plate. Here's the issue. And this is something the MLB still can't figure out, and I don't understand this. It is 2021. We have instant replay. We have multiple angles. We can slow it down. We can zoom in, and we still can't get the plays right. And we take endless time, and it drains fans from games. It's the most glaring issue with sports sometimes. And this was just another example. And the problem is, and I'm not sure if this is a rule or not. I'm going to look this up probably tonight. When I was listening to the broadcasting, it sounded like you need clear and definitive proof to overturn a call. And that's the issue. If that's true, and if it's in the MLB rulebook or something like that, that you need clear and definitive proof of a play to overturn it via a replay, this was never getting overturned. That's the issue here. Was there any clear footage of him touching the plate? No. Was there any clear footage of him not touching the plate? Not really. The closest thing you could see, there's a line of dust. And even then, there's a line of dirt, not dust. It's stupid. There's a little bit of dirt. But does that small, really, really small detail overturn a play? No, and that's the issue. Had he been originally called out, he would have still been out. But because he was called safe, they were going to call it safe. Whatever the umpire called at that bang-bang play, which he called safe, which might be the wrong call, the problem is, because it was so damn close, there's no real angles they showed that clearly give clear or definitive proof, the call stayed. And that's something with the rules that is stupid. And it's going to let Braves fans feel screwed over. And I sat back and I felt bad like last night when I was going to bed. I was like, must suck getting screwed over like that. But then I'm like, this is the Braves, so I do not care. Yeah, plain simple. This is the Braves, and I do not care. I would feel bad if it happened to my team, obviously. I would feel bad if it happened to teams outside of my division, especially because the Braves torment me endlessly through this series, through the last 3 years of my life. No sympathy. None at all. But this is how it goes. Definitely got a bit lucky on the call, but that's the unfortunate of the rules. So at that point, the Phillies went up 7-6. The Braves GM the manager is heated. He is screaming at the umpire, and rightfully so, honestly. And at this point, I saw a play. I was like, if the Braves got screwed over like that, they should not. The Phillies are not losing this now. There's no way. They're not gonna let this slip. And Hector Neris comes in, shuts the door, gets the win, and that's all she wrote. It was a very interesting game, and the Phillies had to give it everything. They had to dig deep for this win. And even then, they got a bit lucky. Because like I said, that call could have gone either way, unfortunately. You know, like I said, it leans on the side of out more, so sometimes you get a lucky break. And the Phillies hold a 2-game lead in the division to start off the year. And they go back to play the Mets. It's going to be Chase Anderson versus David Peterson. They got to Peterson early. And the big thing that's going to help the Phillies this series, Stroman is not going to pitch this series because he threw a few pitches in the Marlins game that got rained out last night. He's going to be inactive for the series. So from what it looked like, it's going to be Peterson, Tyson Walker, Joey Lucchesi, and then DeGrom to end the series. And the Phillies, they're going to have Eflin, Wheeler, and Nola for this series. Anything less than a 3 out of 4 is a loss in this series. You need to take 3 out of 4. The only game I'm willing to let them slide with is the very last game, because it's going to be Zach Eflin versus Jacob DeGrom. That's going to be brutal. But the Phillies need to find a way to dig deep for that one. They need to win this first night. Chase Anderson gave him a chance last time. He's going to probably do it again, most likely. So here's hoping they find a way to win. And thank you for watching this long episode. I have been Vernon Top Take Sports. And from Phillies Nation, I'm going to get out of here. Goodbye. See you tomorrow. And peace.